Yay, we introed. All right. Hey, there's 4 fuckers watching this. Hello.
Hello.
I don't know how much of the intro everybody caught, but, you know, there we go. Munch tonight. I got to get in there to Facebook and fix that. It says the Munch is tonight. Check the tree. Like, fuck it. It's on. Like, you're watching it. So I got to fix that. I am Mr. We do this intro thing every week. I'm Mr. I do KinkSlayer, which is what you're most likely watching it on. Actually, one of you is watching it on Dream Movers page. And Dream will be here shortly. Here comes Alice. Hi, Alice. Right here.
Hello.
Here you are. Yeah, so just our, bullshit introduction, Mr. KinkSlayer. Next.
Welcome to Monday Munch. We host this every Monday, and we cover a
Wide variety.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stumble over words
Topics.
already. We get this shit out of the way real quick.
Yeah. We talk about all kinds of fun things. We invite you guys to join us. Join us in the conversation in the comments. We love to hear from y'all. I'm Juniper Jen. I make those awesome vloggers that are behind me on the wall. And we also sell some really awesome other
Sexual wellness.
Toys.
those things.
Leanne,
Yes, toys.
Come out real quick before we do the intros. Leanne, you should totally be a part of this conversation. It's all about kinks and all those things and how those dynamics and stuff work. So if you want to, I can send you the message to get you to it.
But yes. Pass my intro over.
Oh shit, that's me. Sorry. Hi.
Smooth as sandpaper.
All right. I am a giggly mess. No, I am Ray.
Ray's Corner.
Oh yeah, duh. On Facebook, I have recently started a page for the paintings and various art stuff that I sell. It's Ray's Corner. I also do a lot of adult content, and all of that you can find in my link tree.
Ooh, I like to do that
too. Most of the things that I bring to the table talking about in the discussions are youth advocacy and parenting stuff.
She's pretty good at her fucking parenting stuffs.
Absolutely. This is my go-to person to ask parenting questions to. I don't have any as far as the LGBT stuff goes, but I know people do, and they do want a good resource, and Ray is definitely the person to go for that.
Let Alice go next.
All right. Hi, my name's Alice. I'm a non-binary void partner on Facebook. I run a trans advocacy nonprofit. I also run a shit posting page. That's it. Introduction over.
That was excellent, Alice.
Amazing. As always, we tend to blow through these things.
You didn't.
So I'm the one the only basics.
We stumble through them.
And interrupt. Blow through, whatever. It's like hitting a fucking wall. Hit it.
Stumbling and rolling is what I do. It's fine. It's fine. It is my first time on the Monday Munch, but I hope it's not my last. And I do subscribe to the non-binary along with Alice, but I am gender fluid enough that if you want to, just look at the beard and say he, him, I'm okay with that because all the genders are beautiful. But I want to smash the patriarchy, and therefore I choose non-binary. And when it comes to kink, I've had everything from vanilla to everything else. So I hope that we can enlighten you and answer any questions that y'all might have.
Absolutely.
Damn, you did that good. Gold star.
Right. Definite gold star. Very good introduction.
Oh, right. Like he's
I've
he's done this before.
done it because
Leanne, so I sent you the message personally, so it should be in your inbox on Facebook.
Alice, please connect with me after this. I'm interested in your nonprofit as being one who's run a nonprofit before. I want to see your journey and help along where I can.
Sure.
Sweet.
Absolutely. Does anybody know, we add Leanne to the group chat the last time? I don't think so.
Cannot hear you mumbling there.
I was mumbling to myself, that's why.
It's okay.
It's one of those where I ask you the question, but I don't want you to hear the question, so I can not find the answer out. Yeah, so I did bring the mic closer to my face. That way, I think that might have been an issue too, but I don't think we added Leanne to our group chat last time. But, Leanne, I don't know if you heard me. I did send it directly to your personal inbox. Yeah, so.
Y'all hear my heater too bad.
You know.
So last week we went off on a tangent talking about what we were going to talk about this week, and I just like got stuck on vanilla ice cream, and we were all going to have sundaes. We were going to have just such a great time, and I don't think any of us here actually remembered my tangent, even myself.
Nope.
So
that's okay. I don't have any snacks. The only snacks I got are some cookies. I don't have milk. I've got these fudge sticks that have been open for like 2 weeks laying in my bedside table, so I don't think they're any good. And I've got some saltine crackers. So, you know.
You do not have me in a jar.
I lied. I have a snack, but I refuse to eat this.
That is a fudge round by Little Debbie, sir. How can you?
No, wait. No, this is not a fudge round. Okay, this is an imitation fudge round. The fudge rounds are the big ones. These little ones are fucking garbage. Okay, we don't need that shit.
Facts.
And Dream has the ability to pull themselves up whenever they want to come up, unless they want me to pull them up. It's up to them. I don't care. Okay, there we go. Magic. Hello.
Just in time to slap out an introduction. Because we're still in introduction mode.
Who you is?
We're doing introductions still?
We're always doing introductions.
It's 8 minutes after. It's okay. We're right on schedule.
Well,
No
who's
worries.
doing the introductions then?
Mr.
Well, introduce
It's your
yourself.
turn, actually. You came in right on par. I'm really impressed. Like, gold star. Everybody's
who
getting
you
gold
is?
star.
What's your name? What you do? Where you from?
Leanne is backstage, Mr. Sorry.
Leanne is backstage. Hello, Leanne. I'm going to pop you up, too. There we go. Hi, Leanne. Okay, so we got 2 peoples to give introductions.
Okay,
That's gonna be
so
Dream.
hi, I'm Dream. I'm the sadist of the group. I don't know if anyone else is, but I am the... Yeah, hi. Well, as it says below, I'm Ace. I'm a sadist and a streamer. And I love what I do. I love her. Let's see if I got this right. There we go. I
love
got
the
it.
game we have to play every week. You know, which way are we pointing?
Not that way. This one. Also, this one over here. And that one is the asshole of the group, but I still...
You see how the asshole dodged that?
Threw me under the bus.
You were the first one I clicked on. Yeah,
Mister doesn't like the love I always try to give him. He always dips out.
Never.
Nice to meet you, Dream.
Nice to meet you.
And next, we have wonderful Leanne.
Thank you, everybody. Hi, I'm Leanne. I am a married, monogamous, collared submissive. I'm happy
Very
to
nice.
join the group and participate in any way I can. I love me the kink world.
Well, that is fantastic. So I have your link there. You want to tell everybody what you do?
I am a health and life coach, and my niche is working with people within the kink community. I am a kink-aware professional.
Which is awesome, which is why I was
I
like
have-
excited to see your name pop up, because I was like, oh, you got to be here for this.
I have thoroughly enjoyed following you on Facebook in particular and all the stuff that you share. It's amazing. Thank you.
Jen.
I highly recommend all of you to do the same.
So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there that as we move on from topic to topic, whether it seems like it may not be something bad or not, or a trigger or not, anything can trigger anybody. So as we move on from topic to topic, I'll kind of say, hey, we're about to talk about this, and then I'll pop this up, give us a quick little break if anybody needs to drop down, needs to leave, needs to mute, whatever they need to do. And then after the timer finishes, we will drop it back down, and then we'll continue our conversation. So that way it gives everybody a fair shot, whether they're viewing at home, on the panel, whatever the case may be.
So I'm looking through this right now, the banners, and
I like them
are
all.
we just missing dominance and submission altogether here?
Well, no, it's under the BDSM one.
It's not written there. We gotta
There it
add
is. See?
that.
There it is.
It would be intuitive
Oh, it's
with
not. Holy shit.
dominant, submissive, or sadomasochism. Maybe be intuitive with that.
Well,
No,
how
not
about
usually.
you know what?
We can add it though.
We totally
go
can.
over
That's
here.
the beautiful thing about it. So one of the most standard things we're going to talk about tonight. Well, I guess depending on what you're into, anything could be standard. You know, I mean, you could have a rope bondage as the standard in your life. So one of
I wish.
a majority of society's standard is this. So it goes into the
Good Lord.
if anybody wants to start that mess.
Vanilla.
I'm out.
I mean, this is a topic where I can speak on because this is where I'm at. Though I have varied over the range of kink community style, if you will. My lady, the woman I am with, likes vanilla. And I love her. I'm in love with her. So vanilla is where I'm at. Is it what I want? No. But for the ones we love and the ones we are truly in love with, our true partners, we're willing to make some sacrifices. Am I wrong?
No.
Sometimes.
I don't think we should say that vanilla sex is making sacrifices for someone, because there are people that it's just right for.
Sure. And I was trying to point that out, that it was just on a matter of what I am preferred to. Like, if I had all my druthers, my bank account was $6 million, I had every, debt paid off, my kids were taken care of, and I could have whatever I wanted, then it wouldn't be vanilla. But vanilla, it can be very beautiful, because when you're making love with someone and reaching that connection, no matter how you get there, whether it's through rope bondage or vanilla or wax play, it doesn't matter. It's the goal of achieving that unity, that bond with another human. So
Mr. You're muted. I hear you
Every
mumbling
time
over
I
there.
make a good point, it's always because I'm muted. So no, vanilla to me, like truly, vanilla is very subjective. If you consistently have, suspension play and knife play, which things we'll cover and talk about later, if you consistently have those, and then one night you just do some light bondage, that can be considered the vanilla of your relationship. As with all things kink relationships and everything in between, it's all subjective. What works, what I identify and define something as, you may not. So vanilla is the standard terminology for somebody that is not involved in BDSM or kink in any way.
I'm the opposite of that.
You're chocolate.
Yeah.
Excuse you. If I was going to be any flavor, it would be mint chip, but okay.
Oh, I just said that.
Mint chip, good call.
So
Ray, what flavor would I be?
Yes.
I fixed the pointing thing now.
I like this guy.
But vanilla sex is what most people start out having. It's just sex.
Okay, I really want to know. I really want to know if anybody else in here is just like, damn, I wish I didn't start out that way.
Well, you've got to start somewhere.
I think it's a good foundation. If on my, I was one of those weirdos that lost virginity when I was like 13. Okay, on my 13th birthday, if she would have walked in the room with like handcuffs and a blindfold and be like, "All right, we're gonna have some fun," probably would have scared the shit out of me at first. I mean, I would have rode with it. We would have fucking rolled with it, but I would have been like, "Oh God, I'm gonna die." Like her dad's gonna come in and kill me.
It wasn't until like 18 or 19 that I even did that for the first time, and I really don't fucking like it.
So
I
Dream,
was
you
the
may be
good
ace.
child, okay? I'm not anymore, and I like to play with the knives and shit. But I was the good child.
Define good. I was the good child in a lot of other ways.
I didn't even curse until I was 18.
Oh, you were so innocent. Is that like? Is that when
Okay.
you did your first ritual and like it took over your body and now you are the Dreamweaver?
No.
Oh. We have a long-running joke that I'm pretty sure Dream is a demon in human form.
Is that a joke?
In a good way.
Is it
In a
a
good
joke?
way.
I have clarification for you, mister. I do not believe Dream is a demon. Dream is just so nihilistic that you have never perceived a human so nihilistic before that you have to perceive them as a demon.
Well, I like your theory.
Who the fuck said I was
Dream's a dream.
nihilistic? Where the fuck did this come from? I've known this guy for 5 minutes.
Okay, my little demons and slayers, we have to get back on topic, and we really haven't discussed exactly what vanilla is. So I went over here to Google. And
God, when you
Boring of ice cream
have
flavors.
to Google vanilla sex, though.
so I Googled it. Apparently none of the sex I've really ever had has really ever been very vanilla. Because vanilla is not rough or kinky sex. So that means it's any sex that does not involve things like slapping, gripping, spitting, strangulation, hair pulling, biting, gagging, domination, submission, consensual power exchange, role playing, discipline, restraint, humiliation, or pain of any kind.
So it's just
Can I
Rod A
add
and the
one
slot
little
B, right?
detail?
So it's like literally.
I want to add a detail.
Go
I don't
for it,
want to
Dream.
sound like I'm shaming this, but it's literally like just for
missionary
making a baby.
It is only
like-
missionary position. That's all they know how to do.
No. You can do doggy without paddling, and doggy is still considered vanilla. There's really no submission play to that. You see what I mean?
It's a joke.
Positions, but what if it's not strangulation, if it's not a dominance play, if it's not smacking that ass, it's vanilla.
That's what
It
I
was
was
a
thinking.
meme,
How
buddy.
boring would doggy style be without pulling my hair and not slapping my
Slapping my ass. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I
But
think we have.
It's
this
just my
is
coffee.
this is where I am. My lady does not like the pain.
Oh,
So
I feel bad for saying that.
But
See,
you
I
know
knew
what,
I
though?
knew I was gonna be like
you did not upset nor offend.
pointing somebody in particular out.
This is the vanilla, and this is where I can speak on the variance of topics, but because my life is in a vanilla state, I can speak upon it.
Okay, but I have a question for you. If you're not holding on like this, how are you holding on?
Dear Lord.
You can still grab like this and not
You can still grip it.
grab like this.
You don't have to
That's
dig
fair.
in.
Yeah,
There's the soft fingertips,
absolutely.
impression.
This is a
And yes,
sensual
while I
way.
might want to grab and leave those fingerprints, I do not.
Well, I
There's
will say,
sensual ways to perform said style.
absolutely. And Jen and I were listening to a podcast earlier, and I kind of like the way the guy put it. That pain adds such a negative connotation that it's a sensation, and depending on how much force you use, depends on how much that sensation hits. If you lightly
And how
touch
much
somebody
love you
with
give
a what?
How much love you give after. Because if
Absolutely,
you smack
absolutely.
it and leave it, that's a strike. But if you smack it and rub it and caress it, that's love.
That's right. It's all about the aftercare. I don't know. I think vanilla sex has its place in every relationship. I think some folks do have a 24/7 dynamic, but I don't think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't
You're
think
wrong.
that everybody has BDSM kinky sex 100% of the time.
You're
I mean,
wrong.
even in a 24/7 dynamic, I mean, not for everyone, of course. Nothing applies to everyone, but you can still have like a quickie in the shower. There's vanilla.
Right. I mean, it's just standard. You're just having sex.
I love being in the shower with people, but you keep your dirty sex away from me. I say dirty in a good way.
Oh, right. Oh, that was Jen saying hello.
I'm hearing
Like,
things.
we got a comment.
Yeah, I'm in the comments today with you guys. So,
Absolutely.
hello, Jor and Chamberlain. Thank you for being here.
And can I also add that the dream and the ideal image that shower sex and pool sex and jacuzzi sex all have, it's not. Okay, shower sex, somebody falls, you break something, you drop soap on your toe. There's no lubrication. There's stuff like that. Like, it doesn't have that appeal like everybody thinks. Water's a terrible lubricant.
Oh, good God. And then there's those people who don't use it at all, ever.
Well, I mean, some people don't have to use it. Or are you talking about showers? Showers or lube? Which one are we talking about here?
Both, I guess.
Both? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I spit on it, it'll fit.
Exactly. Brokeback Mountain was such a good movie.
By the way, I'm pan as well as non-binary.
Very nice. Awesome. See, I love learning about people.
Also pan.
Also pan. And no, for the one person out there that's going to see this, that doesn't mean we have sex with pans.
We're all pans. Most of
Or
us are
red.
pans. Pancakes.
Pancakes. Yes.
We're pancakes and we're ham.
Oh, where's she at? I want to see her. We gotta go see her soon.
Ooh.
We have a friend of ours. Her phone case is it says I'm a pancake, or I love pancakes, or something, and it's just like the pansexual colors on a stack of pancakes on the back of it. It's fucking beautiful.
I gotta show you a thing. Shit, where'd I put it? Oh, I'll just tell you about it.
She gets
My
so
kiddo,
excited, her brain malfunctions.
my kiddo has a thing on the back of their phone It's a picture of a little kitten paw with on the little toes. It's got the pan pride color, so it's panto beans.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, tell them, Ray, I love them so much.
It's so cute, and they also have a little jar with the gender fluid flag, so they have a jar of gender fluid.
Good. I might need them to send me some. I'm learning low.
So if I'm not mistaken, like I know at least 5 of our panelists are pansexual now, right? Everybody, maybe, I don't know. Dream, I always get yours wrong. I don't know. Are you pan? No.
Yeah. Oh, my hand's up too. Okay. I had an idea in my head. We need to start making little things of gender fluid and spoons that people can buy.
All out of spoons, only knives.
I have a great idea for that. Are you ready for this? Okay, this is like, okay, God, somebody's going to see this idea and steal it. It's going to be all over Etsy. So we need 3 different fluids with different density and then color them the color of the pan flags. That way they constantly float in the colors of the pan.
Oh, that would be
Wouldn't it be the gender fluid colors and not the pan colors for this particular thing?
Yeah, I think Mr.
misspoke. All the colors, whatever. I don't care.
I want
That
it
would
to
be
be
cool
one
too,
of those
though.
little fluidy hourglasses.
Yes. Because if you get the stuff with the right density, no matter how it pours through, it's going to separate itself and it's going to be beautiful.
So
let's go get rich
vanilla.
on Etsy.
Vanilla.
Okay, so
Leanne,
back on topic.
well, real quick, Leanne. So I'm heterosexual. I don't know, Leanne, are you heterosexual?
Heterosexual.
Okay, so Dream is just Dream.
I am romantic, a hopeless romantic. That's all.
Ah, beautiful.
That works too. So I am going to, as I said before, I don't know who all saw it or heard it, but I'm going to pop up the banner for the next topic. I'm going to hit the little 10-second counter. We'll give anybody a chance to leave if they need to, and then we'll pop back up. So here we go. Boop. I don't know if it'll stay up when I do my counter, so there's the topic. Oh, it does.
Nice.
That's cool.
So it's role play, so, you know.
I like this video thing.
Right. I think it's wonderful. It really gives people a chance because we don't know what triggers anybody. I mean, I'm kind of a dick. I don't think my triggers are anybody else's responsibility but my own. But I try to be respectful of the community and say, hey, here's your chance if you want to deal with it. You know, if you want to hop out, hop out. If you choose to stay, I'm not going to be the one that takes the flack for it. We can have the discussion. I'm just not going to take any heat for it because the warning was given and all that stuff. I know that sounds like an asshole thing to say, but
nope. A
Not
proper
really.
prior warning is total respect.
And
Yeah,
I did
what
learn
else were you
from last
supposed to
time.
do?
Well, I did learn. The reason I put the banner up is because, you know, you guys did teach me that I should talk about what the trigger could be before saying, you know, what the trigger stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before I was thinking, you know, just saying, hey, there's a trigger warning. So you could think on your own, what's going to trigger me? Okay, is it related? No, probably not. Carry on. But, you know, hindsight,
My
that's
whole
really
life is a
fucking
trigger
stupid.
warning.
But looking back, still a bit fuzzy.
Okay, so role play. Role play. I mean, like, I don't know even how to begin that. I mean, it's
Are we talking Hawaiian sweetbread
What?
different kind of roles.
or
Different
Mr.
kind of roles.
Schubert?
Different kind of roles.
I think
Oh, okay. I was like, I just made those like 2 nights ago.
So I think the best way to start that one off is just to kind of jump into it. Role play would be pretending you are anything other than you are not in a kink related setting.
Like a sexy nun.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
which absolutely. Do you want to show that off for a second? I mean, we're fine with waiting.
I mean, no, because that would take a lot of work. But if you could put the picture up if you have it.
I
I can
don't think
send
I
it to
have it
you.
saved. Yeah, absolutely send it. And I'll pop it up on a separate tab.
So would that be like a dirty little birdie?
A dirty
Yes.
little birdie, absolutely. So so this is what I love about kink. So all little aspects of different things can involve other things. Role play. If you don't have a 24/7 dynamic, could you consider a DS situation just in a bedroom a role play because you're putting yourself in that role for
Yes.
for that minute and then you're out of it.
Yes.
I would say
And
so.
if the roles are reversed on a common basis.
That's it's really interesting because like outside of a 24/7 dynamic, all BDSM is technically role play.
True. And I agree with you. There's a lot of intersectionality within the kink community, whether it's BDSM or role play, or you can even have vanilla like 23/6, and that one day for that 1 hour have some kind of a role play situation or other kink, and it would still spice things up. It would still make life interesting, keep it fluid.
And of course, you could dress as a sexy nun.
Ah, look at that.
That right there, yeah. You find me a church that they dress like that, and I'll become religious.
For I have sinned.
I loved it when you got that outfit. I was like, "Oh my god, that is perfect."
Mm-hmm.
The nun shoots might have been why I started simping in the first place.
A demon dressed as a nun. I love it.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I'm working on getting more because I absolutely love that, but the ones I want are like hella expensive. So
I remember. So when we were talking about, I don't know if you girls did it this year because I've been working like crazy, or last year. But if you, Jen, I think it's you and Dream, the year before, did your ribbon wrapping and present costume thing?
we did it. We did it this year too.
Did you? Because I don't remember that. But did you know that was the first time I saw you, Dream?
Was it?
Absolutely, it was the first time, and I was like, okay, well, I'm a fan.
Let me see if I can find an appropriate picture of that.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Ooh, I got one from this year. That's appropriate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. I said if you guys drop them in our little antisocial chat.
Come on, Joe.
How
wrong
much
with a little
am
bit
I
of water.
legally allowed to show on YouTube?
We'll find out.
If you have to ask the question, it's not allowed on YouTube.
They allow me on YouTube.
Well,
I think, all I'm saying is so far we haven't been kicked off. So
Fair.
we're not doing our job.
I mean, I could say something gross and hope to kick us off. It is 23 degrees where I'm at right now. Okay, that's gross.
Sounds nice.
That is gross.
I love cold weather.
Mm-mm.
Oh, yes.
I'm just sending this to you because my cousin is in our group chat. And
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I don't want that.
I am okay. Gotcha.
Ooh, you know a role play that I really enjoy? I'm so sorry if I'm interrupting, but it's totally on topic, is the 50s housewife. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and that is an actual dynamic for people.
I think that
I have a friend that's into that.
And anybody in the comments still, you guys feel free to drop like your favorite role plays and stuff like that because we want to know what you guys think too.
My personal favorite one.
I don't know if it's too much or not. We're sure it's not going to find out if you're okay with that.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't think there's anything that would get us taken down.
No, but I wanted to make sure you're okay with it.
I'm okay. There's nothing actually showing.
Right. We still got to check. But every now and then you just got to dress up for whatever you can. and you know,
Ho
you gotta
ho
dress
ho
in-
holiday.
yeah, ho 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 holidays. Those are. So that was from the time I met you.
No, that was
Correct.
from last month.
That
Oh, no,
was
that's
from
right.
last
The first
year.
time you were in like
Yep,
all
the
silver,
first
all
time.
gold.
Yeah, wrapping paper. We were doing wrapping paper the
Either
first
way.
time.
Oh, bad
It was
student.
like nothing.
So yeah, bad student is a good one. That's where. So when you think of role playing, that's what a lot of people think of: the student teacher, the
Hot for teacher.
police.
I won't get explicit, but I do have a maid outfit.
You should send pictures of the maid outfit. I don't want to be the only one up here doing this
I
shit.
sent my picture.
Let me dig
Did
up
you?
one that's not.
Yeah, let's just bring up all our pictures at this point. Because,
Where did
like,
you send it to?
Jen,
'Cause I
where's
don't
your
have it.
hot fairy outfit?
Listen, you guys, if you want to see all of me and my outfits and fun things, you can check out my OnlyFans, actually. So
Dirty
it's
little
free
birdie is my
to
favorite. If
look
you go to
at,
this right
but
here, you can
some of the
see
more
it.
explicit stuff you're going to have to, yeah.
But
That's
I do love
fabulous.
Chamberlain
That's pretty
says,
sad.
yes, maid outfit. Absolutely made outfits.
It's in the antisocial socialites, mister.
I see it
You
now.
keep trying
There
to
we go.
just
Oh,
Yes.
that's cute.
J6.
thank you, Ray.
So my personal favorite role play is the random at the bar. So like you and your significant other go to the same bar, and one goes in first, the other comes in later, and totally nice, Ray. But then you like act like you're a complete stranger and just hit on them, spit your game. The other one can even play hard to get. I love that dynamic, that fresh hunt feeling.
Mm.
Talking about like, hey girl, what you doing?
Do you ever critique each other afterwards, by any chance?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I've been out of
man.
it so long. That would be terrible. I wouldn't know what to do.
Oh man.
Alice, are you okay if I pop this up too?
I believe that one doesn't have anything showing.
Oh,
So
I
sure.
mean, I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about if you're okay, comfortable with it. That's all.
Yeah, I posted these publicly. You're good.
Absolutely. See, like we got maid outfits, we got
Oh, hot damn.
pencils, we got wrapping paper, we got so much shit, and it is the best. I have a donkey onesie. I don't have any photos of it, but I have a donkey onesie. It's about as cosplay as I get.
Is that really a role play for you, though?
Yeah.
I have one more.
It is not a role play for me to be a jackass. So I suppose you're correct.
Let me see if I can find one more.
Okay. While you're finding it, Mr.
go
has been a table before. I just want to point that out. That is one of Mr's stories. He has been a table. Weren't you a table? Why are you looking crazy like that?
Because I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about.
Oh shit! I can't pull a memory out of your head that I've heard a million times.
Well, you tell me, and then we'll just tell the story. I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I got you," and I'll lead from it.
I don't know. It's from when you had hair.
Oh, fuck,
So,
that
like-
was so long ago. That's ancient history. It's like reaching back into Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Yeah. Well,
I think,
fuck.
I think the dinosaur stole Mr's hair.
Oh,
Oh, absolutely. You know what though? Like, oh god, like I remember like all the shit I used to do with my hair, and I cut it into a mohawk when I had it, like a really cool ass mohawk. Loved it to death. Wish I could have it back, but you know. And I remember walking into a store and somebody's like, "Oh my god, your hair!" And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" It's like, "Oh my god," you know, like just fucking with them. It's so great. I was like, I had no idea.
Okay, so back on topic.
Back on topic, absolutely. I don't know the table story. I'm not thinking of that one right now, but it'll come to me.
It's okay. That's okay. Did Dream ever come up with anything?
I'm
coming up with it now. Give me a minute.
Okay, we're getting there.
Well, I will caveat that
Now, costumes don't have to be a part of your role play.
role play is not a life.
There
You
we
can't
go, do
live
that
a
one.
fucking role play. Maybe okay, shit. Maybe people do. Shit, I guess there's people that do live a role play, like an entire life aspect. So never mind.
Rocking that.
If I could get
suit.
paid enough to cover my bills, I absolutely would.
Oh, for sure. If anybody wants to pimp me out and make sure I get like a cut of the money to cover the bills and shit, I got you. Like it's gonna have to be a significant amount of money though. So just so we're clear.
You're muted.
No, he's not. Oh, wait,
Yes,
yeah.
I was. But because my lady came out for a smoke and I was talking with her. But I'm with you, mister. Yeah, but it would have to be copious amounts. Copious.
Right. Just because I wouldn't have a job, you know, I'd enjoy the fun of it, whatever, but it's the you have to compensate my lack of compensation.
Who are you kidding, Day 6? You would do it for copious amounts of cannabis.
Well, I mean, that can kind of become revenue. So we do not condone the selling of narcotics on this. It's not narcotic, but still. I have to say stupid
it's
shit like
legal. It's legal here, so I
right.
can,
So if it's legal, sell your shit.
Here.
As Afro Man says in his wonderful song, "Sell your dope."
Colt
I love that
45
song.
and 2 zigzags.
That's a good one too.
Okay, so there's so many roles. We could never go all over them,
Oh, no,
especially the
God,
way
no.
that we get like sidetracked the way we are. Role playing is a really good segue into kinkier play.
Yeah, it's where a lot of people start, you know, because you can do it just verbally. You don't need any extra tools. You don't have to have costumes. They help and stuff like that. Now, I will say, I think role-playing can lead into finding more about yourself in a dynamic situation. You know,
Yeah,
where are
it's
you comfortable
about
at?
your deeper, like, feelings, wants, and fears, and happy moments, and living your dreams. It's way more than just play. It's exploring yourself.
Expressing the forbidden fantasies.
Yep,
Absolutely.
fantasies. That's what I was gonna say.
Just because now there are some topics in the role play stuff that can be very triggering, but just know that there are some dark topics. There are some just standard, you know, oh, I've been bad. I need extra grades, you know, extra credit, whatever. What can I do? And there's that kind of stuff all the way to primal play as role play. I personally never, you know, done primal play. But
I will add that we are doing an entire show on this the day before Valentine's Day, I think.
The role playing?
Yeah.
And I do have an article on sexy LARPing, LARP, live action role playing. That was the title of it. It's up somewhere on the KinkSlayer page if you want to go there and check
awesome.
that out. It just kind of gives you the basics and the rundown of how all this stuff works. And
oh, cool! So we're all gonna dress up then next week and be
the day
No,
before Valentine's Day.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We're not even in February yet.
So there was a comment down there from Chamberlain asking what primal play was.
Oh,
and I did notice that was not a topic that was brought up. Do we want to cover that now, or do we want to leave that a little later?
Well, I wanted to maybe
talked about it like 5 seconds ago, but
I wanted
getting
to touch on it a little deeper, maybe in the pet play. I know that's not quite a pet play thing, but I think
it's closer.
It's
closer. I can talk too.
It'll be a good segue.
I mean, are we talking about it now? I should talk about it now.
Well, we'll get there in just a minute.
Okay.
We want to be able to give that boom trigger warning. So role play is having fun and not being, being who the hell ever you want to be.
Primal play doesn't quite tie into role play the same way, so let us segue to it. But we'll get to your question. We'll answer.
Absolutely. So we are going to do the same thing we did a minute ago. We're going to hop up to the light bondage, the kinky handcuffs of love. And just to be clear, while we're taking this break, there's a difference between the lighter bondage and your heavier rope and all that stuff, as far as what we're talking about tonight. Everybody good? Everybody's good. Okay, you had 10 seconds to be good, or you're not good. Okay. So with this, I think more of the handcuffs, the Velcro cuffs, the simple things like that. You know, tying your safety scissors to the bedpost. You know, those kind of things.
Light manacles with quick release.
Yeah.
Basically anything that can restrain you but is easy to get out of and doesn't require a whole bunch of extra accoutrement.
I'll have you guys know, it doesn't take extra accoutrement to tie your scissors to the bedpost, because it might take an extra step of cutting them from the bedpost. But if you are messy or you misplace things a lot, like your lighters and like important things like the scissors, tie them to your bedpost. It's one step as far as it would take like 300 steps to find a pair of scissors.
Yep.
Keep your scissors before you play. Always keep your scissors, and I strongly believe in tying them to your bedpost.
I also think that you should preference this. With the reason I'm laughing so hard is because this is a long running joke as well.
And I will defend myself.
Can I just say that I love that? That's how you know she's been with me long enough. She just mistered the fuck out of her explanations and reasonings. Like, she was like, you know what? We're going to make it sound logical, whether it is or not.
It is.
So, when you're talking about you're talking about things like this. Got not such a quick release, but it has a quick release. They make them that are Velcro and stuff like that as well. These are nice. I like these. We also have these. These right here amaze me.
I like those too. Oops, sorry.
To me, it's things that are more symbolically restraining. Like, if you fought against it, it wouldn't actually hold you. It's more the idea of it and hinting at it.
I'm bondage man.
Okay, you need a GIMP mask for that first, mister. I'm just saying.
So these right here are silicone. They are fantastic. You know, if you slide them over your wrist, they do hold well. Obviously, if you pull it hard enough, you could just rip the silicone, no problem. You could take your safety scissors that you have posted to the bedpost and cut those off if you needed to. And if anybody doesn't know what kind of scissors we're talking about, the best way to look them up is trauma shears. And that's one of the cheapest ways to buy them. If you're going to buy them, buy the stores.
Go ahead.
Go to CVS. Go to anywhere there's medical stuff. You can get trauma shears from any of those places. It's made to cut most materials. Obviously, you're not going to cut through a steel rod or a steel pole or anything, but if it's a light enough material, you can cut through it. We don't have a bedpost, so I don't know where ours are. So I think we might have left it tied to the bedpost when we got rid of it.
Tape them to the wall behind your bed. I don't know.
But as you guys can tell, we haven't used our rope because we're not very familiar in it, and we've got some learning to do, really. I can't wait.
Isn't there
it's something I'm very interested in.
Isn't that our first week?
Yeah.
Of February, we're going to talk about it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that is next week.
So in the event, like I said, with these silicone cuffs, in the event something was happening, I mean, you can get them off really quickly. Like, it doesn't take shit to do. And then they just roll right back into bondage man.
Those are amazing, and I bet you they're under $10. And
those right there were like 15, I think. But it was a small shop.
Still, that is a great way to jump into the light bondage in it. And I think it's exactly like Ray said right there. It's more the idea of the restraint, because yeah, you can slip them quick, or if you're properly prior planning like Jen and have scissors taped to your bed or rope to your bed already, then yeah,
really well.
A waste of $15, but they're easy enough to slip. He just pulled his wrist clean out.
especially for anyone that is newly trying these things out, being able to get out of a situation that you're new to relatively quickly is a good safety thing, whether that's physical safety or mental safety. If it's something that you think you can handle and you can't, you need to be able to get out very quickly.
And, like I said, something else you can use is ties. They work fantastically. If you properly know how to tie a tie, if not, I'm happy to teach you.
That is one of my favorites.
It takes nothing to pull, to tighten it up. And it also takes nothing to loosen it up. So, like, it's something, you would have to make sure you're not, like, if you're trying to get out of it, you can get out of it. Like, that's the point of the lighter bondage. If you're putting that effort to it, then, or if an emergency happens, it's easy to get out.
It won't require a 911 call to release you.
I would like to add, too, that in any form of kink, consent and communication are very, very important, especially if you're trying something new.
I think that's a record. We went 51 minutes without the word communication being brought up.
Wow, that's bad. We're going to have to make sure we're better about that next week.
Absolutely, because
we normally say that.
That's a little ridiculous. I'm a little ashamed. If I gave you a gold star, any of you, if you've gotten a gold star, I'm revoking one corner of it.
I totally validate that. I can have 4/5 of the gold star.
Yeah.
But I think I should get my corner back because I brought it up.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
but everybody
I have
knows
one that's not talked about a lot, and I like to use like jute rope to do around the fingers and the wrist so that you can't go like this.
Okay, it's pretty good.
Jute rope is fun. I think that might be the harder side of rope a little bit because it's very scratchy, and if you do fight against it, it's going to scratch up and inflict a little bit of pain.
Well, since we're already speaking of bondage, that just gets us into this one right here. Art of tying the knot.
Oh, good God.
I can't wait. I'm glad we have a whole week of a whole month of talking about this. Looking for my notebook.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, I think it's going to be great. That's something I do want to let, people that are more experienced speak of. Bondage stuff is fine. I can do the cuffs. I prefer cuffs, Velcro, stuff like that. I just think it's easier. I think tying ropes
I'm going to send that picture real quick because the girl who's in it actually volunteered to come up next week, and she's actually a professional at it.
Then that's all we need.
No.
I mean, it's not all we need, but that's a very important person to have, especially with all of you guys, or at least some of you guys having experience in that. I have experience in it. Like I said, it's just not my favorite thing. It's not my thing.
It is one of my favorite things to be tied up.
Mine as well.
So
It takes a lot of trust in the person, though.
It does. That's one that, like I said, that's why I moved it up a notch on its own. For that, was for that to be this. It's a step up in the bondage stuff like that, because then it can be. Oh, my brain is malfunctioning. Sorry. Oh, you want me to pop that up? I got you.
When it comes to anything in the kink world, whether it be from vanilla to the current topic to our next topics, it doesn't matter who you jump in the sack with. The idea is that you should trust who you jump in the sack with.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? The level of trust increases as your kink diversity increases.
Mm-hmm.
You get to like where we're at now on this topic of rope bondage, heavy bondage. Like Alice just said, it takes an extreme amount of trust to be able to be in a position where you are completely and utterly incapacitated And the
Absolutely.
only person that can free you is the one that puts you in that position. And they put you in that position in an act of love and love making. So that will require an extreme amount of trust.
And can I just add though, like something you see a lot in TV and stuff like that is somebody gets tied up and is left there, you know, as an act of revenge or something like that. Never fucking do
Never, never, never.
Counterpoint. Counterpoint. Discuss it thoroughly ahead of time. Make sure you've got
Absolutely, you know,
tied
but
safely.
like,
Make sure that you've got consent and an established time that you're coming back, and make sure that you have an alert system in case something goes wrong.
and make sure you have your safety scissors nearby,
Mhm.
like just
So-
in case, you know, if you fall down the steps and get hurt, you can't get back upstairs to untie your partner. They can just reach, you know, just within range to get those scissors. You know, that's why you keep them tied at the bedpost, right, Jen? So you can have them right there at you, and then you can cut your rope, and then you can uncut your other side. You're good to go. So that's one of those things.
So I will add the nice lady that I did this scene with, she would only let me stay up for 3 minutes because I was completely upside down. This was the first time I did it. And that was on me because I was like, I've always wanted to be upside down. Let's try it out. And she's like, that's not a beginner position, but let's go for it because I really, really wanted it. And she's like, wow, most people tap out in the moment that I was in there because the rope gets a little tighter and they start to panic.
Mhm.
And I was just totally into it. But that is something to keep in mind, is that you should not be left upside down for more than a couple minutes.
No.
And at some moments in time, it's going to get uncomfortable. That's just the way it is.
Absolutely, and that's like, that tells me the people that you were doing this stuff with, these presentations with. I think we have another section later on suspension, but whatever, we can talk about it now. That is where, you know, you're tied up, like literally not just tied to something. You were tied up. You were off the ground. Leanne, do
One
you
of the
have
best
anything to
moments
add?
of
You
my
are
life, by the
our
way.
expert down here. We haven't heard much out of you yet.
All of my experience with rope tying, we did attend some classes here locally before we even got into it at home, other than, you know, basic restraint tying. But we wanted more in-depth classes. I have a lot of books. I watch a lot of YouTube tutorial videos. I have 2 mannequins that I, you know, try to practice tying on a fairly regular basis. Unfortunately, you know, it's not the same. You can still adjust for making sure you have like room in between, you know, sticking your fingers in between the rope and the person you're with, to make sure you're not cutting circulation, knowing the safety points, you know, not to tie the wrists, you know, the points that can cause damage, knowing which muscles, where the muscles lay, so you don't put rope for long periods of time and cause paralysis or nerve damage. So, you know, it is really best to be educated. Always have your safety shears in reach, very much so, Jen. But it can be a lot of fun. Like, we use it for sensual play. Just the sensation and the intimacy that we share when my sir is tying me is more of the intimacy connection, me just enjoying the touch of the rope as it moves across my skin. So we don't do any suspension. I haven't gotten that far into any of my learning. Someday, maybe, sure, I would love to. But it's usually, for us, it's more either restraint or sensation play. Something that he can tie me up, and, you know, we could do wax play, or he could tickle me, or you could use the Warburton wheel. You know, it has a lot of options.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And
please.
That is a fantastic segue. We're going to go ahead
It
and
really
hop
is.
on to the next subject. The next subject is going to be kind of a 3-in-1. I'm going to pop up all three. So that's going to be the next one we talk about. We'll give everybody just a second. I'm going to pop up all three. It's going to be sensory play, sensory deprivation, and we'll touch on wax play because it goes. They all three roll together.
Yes, please.
So, all right. Give me just 1 second. Sidebar there. So let's start with sensory play. So sensory play is Jen's bread and butter. Truly, I mean, with the floggers, the paddles, the handles that she has, and all those things, like those are things that she takes pride in knowing about. So I'll let her talk a little bit about that if she's comfortable with that.
Fun, feels good. It's nice. What do you want me to talk about?
So with your floggers and stuff like that, I know that's been a newer addition. You've done it a couple times in some of your handles, but you've got some newer handles, right?
I do, and they're ridged and they're bumpy. So like when you rub them across your skin, or roll them, not rub them, but you roll them across your skin, and you can do it with a regular handle. I don't have any of these special sensation floggers made for myself. I really need to make one. But I do have like a regular handle up here, and you can really do it with a regular handle too. Is roll it across your skin, but then you get the balls touching somewhere else and tickling somewhere else, and the sensations that are provided. I love them. You can also put like feathers and fur to make sensations, which actually we're going to talk all about all of this stuff. I'm not plugging holes, but I'm plugging holes because I want to invite you guys all to before Valentine's Day the 12th, we're going to be making some pervertibles for sensation and impact play, and I'm really excited. We're going to talk a little bit more about them, and we're going to make some too afterwards.
So yeah, that sensation, that pervertibles thing is going to be great. If you guys don't know what a pervertible is, it's a household object that you can turn into a sexual object. Not necessarily like cucumbers like you're thinking, but technically yes.
Well, I can't wait to share one. I know one that everyone is going to love.
Well, let's hear it.
We found at Walmart in the like barbecue section where they keep all the grilling stuff. They're like meat claws. They're a hard plastic meat claw. And I absolutely love them for sensation play.
It's a budget-friendly vampire claw.
Oh, no, they're just, I guess they're heaven. Heaven. They're lightweight, easy to hold.
Use them for like poking or like slapping or both or all? Or...
Scratching.
It's like 5 forks in a glove. I love that.
Absolutely.
So, like the ones intended for like pulling meat, those claws?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I had the right thingy in my noodle.
Let's drop.
I think we're actually talking about wax play right now, though, aren't we?
No, we're actually just talking about general sensation play at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, then I was gonna grab my my sleep mask. That's a fun addition to sensation play. Is having that sense deprived.
We're almost there. So also you think your feathers, your silk, your soft things, a lot of people like to use. But
scarves and ties.
And then there's not so pleasant. If you really want to have fun with it, I just thought about this because I'm sitting here looking at things. Crumble these up, put them on a bed, and have somebody lay on them.
Now you're getting the sadistic program here. You need to roll back a few topics.
I've never done with crumbly saltines, and I worry about like the mess that would make. But I have done with Legos.
Whoa.
Okay.
See, And sensory play doesn't have to be all soft and comfy and wonderful. It can be the rougher things. It can be the claw, like Leanne said. It could be the vampire gloves. It could, the Wartenberg wheel is a good one. There you go. There's that claw right there. That's actually really smart. I would have never thought about that.
Oh, wow.
They are
And,
awesome.
once you think about a lot of this stuff, it's kind of like what we talked about earlier. Was everything? If
love
all
that.
these were one big Venn diagram, it'd almost all be a circle because they all overlap in some way or another. Sensation play can include impact play. It can include the topic we talked about last time. It can include even the role play stuff. Your certain costumes you have costumes that have fur. You have stuff like that that's used for that sensation. We have I don't know if you can see it in the camera here. There's a scarf right here that's like a little lion, and it's really soft. And every now and then I'll just put that scarf around my neck and I'll use it to rub Jen, rub her back or wherever. So like there's tons of ways to do it. That's the softer stuff, but you can also, like we talked about, or Alice said, the Legos. Legos will be.
But
really
break it down. Sensation has to do with all of everything,
And
not
if you
just
wanna-
touch.
Don't forget ears.
And if you want to up that sensation game, you can get into
Thank
the
you.
sensory deprivation,
Mhm.
which is my bread and butter, which is something I absolutely love.
My favorite earphones.
Mhm. I like those too. Mhm.
Jen
Love
has a
them.
mask somewhere, and I don't know where it is.
I
but
have a mask up here, and
I don't know if she knows where it is, but it is something I bought. I had a concept for something I wanted to try to make, and then I was like, yeah, you know what? Nope, it's just going to serve this purpose now. In a solo aspect, I think she's got it there in her hand that I can kind of see. Yep. So that right there's a mask, but it also has Bluetooth speakers in it.
Nice.
I have one of those too.
So you can deprive the sense of sight, but you can overwhelm the sense of hearing.
I was just about to say that, like, the opposite is overwhelming your senses, which is a whole nother ball game, and I don't particularly like that one.
Well, see, and that's kind of the fun of that psychological sadism. If I know that you have anxiety over crowds, but I want to push you to that limit to feel that, if I already put those on you and then put the sound effect from my phone of being in a crowded room, people talking, people being loud, conversating, it can overwhelm you that way.
That's called social anxiety, and we don't want to improve upon that.
But you know what I'm saying? Like you can use it
Without
in those
consent.
ways. Or you could use it to relax. You could add meditation to those Bluetooth speakers. You could add something soft and soothing so they relax completely.
I think that's a whole nother topic we got to get on, though. Like
sensory deprivation?
No. Kink versus going against somebody's mental disorder. Because there's a point where even though they say it's okay and I consent to doing this, mentally they're not going to be okay with it, and that's actually going to cause trauma a lot of the time.
Well, that's where it comes in with, like Ray said earlier, communication for sure.
Mhm. I would say I could never do that. Don't get any ideas, mister. You better put nice, soft, low music. Relax my body and soul. Don't fucking put a crowd in my ear. That would be
Alice?
horrible. Sorry.
So there comes a point where, like, in the discussion beforehand, the communication, getting consent, where they'll say whether or not they're okay with doing a certain act. If someone says they are, and it's obviously something that's distressing, it's something that should be discussed more, but you shouldn't necessarily go, hey, I don't think this is good for you, so you can't do it.
How about I'm uncomfortable with putting you in that situation when I know.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
You have to be in charge here.
Yeah.
What's
like,
good for
if you're
you.
a dom, you have a right to say no just as much as anyone else does, and that doesn't have to be your sub's
no contest.
Consent works in all directions.
Absolutely. And a lot of people tend to forget that. They think that, that the submissive is in complete control. So Chamberlain's asking, what is sensory deprivation? So the definition is where you deprive a sense. So if it is, depriving the sense of touch. Some people do mummification. Some people do like a saran wrap, where you can't feel things on your skin, but you can still feel certain sensations of it. If you get into the wax play, if you get into like the cold play, things like that. If you put icy hot in the saran wrap against their skin, that creates that burning and that cooling sensation back and forth. There's tons of ways to play with sensory deprivation, but the key is to deprive one sense to make the other stronger.
I like using hot rocks because that kind of, it's not deprivation. It's like a little overstimulating if you do it. At least for me, like get on that edge.
Sorry to interrupt. My connection is getting faulty and my battery power is running low.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this moment and bid y'all adieu. I will continue to watch when I get inside from the outside, and I'll be in the comment section.
Absolutely. And if you and your partner want to come up and talk to us, you're both welcome to. I don't know how much of an interest they have in that world. If they want to educate like that, they're happy to hop in if they'd like to.
She's almost as well versed as I am because her prior husband got her into swinging, and so she was exposed to a vast majority of the kink world, which is why she's wanting the vanilla. So I understand it, and I'm happy where I'm at. She's not as much of a extrovert as I am, as outgoing like that. Ray can attest. He's very much reserved and quiet like that. But she still approves of what I'm doing, wants to see me happy, and knows that this kind of stuff is right up my alley. So I will be here hopefully as many Mondays as I can.
Well, we're here every Monday. We'll see about adding you to a nice group chat to get us all involved in Munch. I got to get Leanne in there too.
Thank you for being here.
I love having people that know stuff, different aspects and stuff like that.
We appreciate your opinions and your aspects. And
Day 6, it was really nice to meet you, man. I hope to keep interacting with you.
Thank you, mister. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and the info and the banter and the rapport you bring is fantastic. So definitely want to see your face again.
Appreciate it. To Alice, Leanne, and Dream, since the first time I've met you, I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Good to meet you.
Catch you on the flip. Ray, I love you more forever.
Love you more forever.
I love it. I do. So that sensory deprivation stuff we were talking about, like Dream was saying, I tend to place that in the realm of sensory deprivation. Although it is an overload of senses, I think it's achieved best by depriving a sense of something else, if that makes sense.
That's what happens to me sometimes. Like headphones on, blindfold on, many sensations coming at one time can lead to sensory overload for me.
And that's where it becomes, in a DS dynamic, kind of thing. It becomes both responsibility, or however many people are involved. It's everyone's responsibility to be able to, like Tony said in the comments, read the body language, to know what certain triggers are, how responses are to the body. For everybody, it's got to be on the same page. It's playing with kinks is not something that is for the faint of heart, or the people that are just like kind of la-di-da about it. Slapping somebody on the ass is different than, using a paddle or using a flogger or something like that. It takes a lot of education. And that's where people like Leanne and myself and Dream and Ray and Alice and Jen and everybody that's on this panel, usually, that's where we all come into play, is we all have our specializations. And for the most part, we're all happy to answer questions. Now, some of us are more open to certain questions than others, but that's where you, as our viewers, should know who to speak to about certain things.
Educated kink is safer kink.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And to make it clear, there's no such thing as safe kink. There's no such thing as safe sex. There's safer. You can do safer things. You can take all the precautions you want. Human error does happen sometimes.
The only safe sex is the sex you don't have. The same thing with kink, and that's meh.
Hashtag abstinence for life.
Meh.
Meh.
No, I'll never agree with that one. I mean, unless it's unless you choose to do it, I don't agree with that fucking high school education bullshit.
That's the Bible Belt education. Let's get that clear.
No. That's up here too.
Is it really? I would think that it would be a
Yeah,
little more progressive in that
unfortunately,
area.
we have not progressed up here at all either.
That's interesting. So depriving the senses. I've written an article about it. Like I said, it was one of the first articles I wrote because I love that. It's like my favorite subject and my favorite type of scene to have. You can deprive anybody's senses of anything and then overload the others, like we said. If it's a mystery, so if you want to overload their sense of taste, throw a warhead in their mouth while they're blindfolded. I mean, obviously, make sure they're consented and know that things can happen. These are the possibilities of the realm of what can happen. Everybody's on board. It may not happen, but it could, et cetera, et cetera.
You know what I love? You just reminded me of something I love. They have these little tablets that you put on your tongue that exchanges
called acid.
sour and hot for sweet. So you can put it on your tongue, it'll dissolve, and if you put like hot sauce or a warhead in your mouth, it will taste sweet to you until it wears off and hits you.
I need that. That's quite interesting. We'll touch on it later, but there's a certain type of play that we'll talk on in the more extreme side of things. But you could I've taken a butter knife in the freezer, or even a spoon will work if someone's blindfolded and restraints, all that stuff. You take that ice cold butter knife and you could touch their skin with it. One, it's going to feel really hot and it's going to feel really sharp. And it all goes along with what you're telling them, how you're psychologically preparing them for it.
Absolutely.
I could tell you that I'm going to drop hot wax on your body, but it's just lotion. And cold lotion can easily, cold and hot hit your body. Pain and pleasure hit your body the same way. Mentally, they affect your nerves the same way. But like I said, they affect your nerves the same way. Your brain has to differentiate which is which. And if you are expecting hot and you drink it or you feel it on your skin and it's cold, we've all drank room temperature coffee before, right?
Unfortunately.
Yes.
And you expect it to be hot and you drink it and it's like the worst thing ever. Or when you expect a Coke and you take a sip of sweet tea and it really messes with your head.
I hate that.
Sensory deprivation is very psychological, but very fun.
Very fun.
Ooh, that's cold. Speaking of not cold, we're going to wrap in this one right here as well.
These cubes.
So Leanne mentioned wax play. I've dabbled in it a little bit in my less than knowledgeable days. I've just used a regular ass candle. There are different types, and we can have we could have a kink a week and probably never cover them all in a year.
Yeah, probably not.
But there's tons of information and tons of things to learn. Wax play, definitely do your research. Anything that can cause damage to the body should be researched thoroughly. Make sure you're using the right materials. Make sure you're doing the things you need to do.
I keep having to add things to the end of our list because you keep bringing them up, and then I just add them on as we're talking about them because they deserve to be down.
Amira made it by. Well, we love you, and we would love to have you back on the panel sometime, Amira. So, hello and good night. So wax play is one of those where, one, people don't anticipate how messy it is. They expect the wax to drip on the body, and then it cools down, and it's hard, and it's all good. It doesn't work that way.
It is messy.
It is.
It's
if you're gonna
everywhere.
make sure you're using either plastic sheets or sheets you don't care about.
Make sure you use the right kind of candle, for fuck's sake.
That too. I think what beeswax is like the highest temp, right?
Just buy candles that are made for that.
Paraffin.
You
Sorry,
can
paraffin.
go.
Boy.
The Kinkery I saw had some really cool drip candles. They're different colors. You can get some off of my website that are made for that. That way you don't have to worry about whether it being you don't want to use a Yankee candle.
No.
No. No.
Oh, I was incorrect. Paraffin is actually one of the lower temp.
Yeah,
it melts
paraffin
at
is
124.
the better choices.
What? I have a wax play article. I don't know why I ain't looking at it. See, I have so many things I could look at, and I'm just like, yeah, we're not going to look at that. I don't have to look that up. But wax play can really be something that helps.
It's pretty.
Introduce or work your way up to the more extreme things.
Wax play and body paint.
Carry on, folks. I'm over here trying to make sure I'm giving the correct information. My apologies. Wax play, there we go.
Well,
so soy candles have a low temperature of like 130 to 135, so they're a step up from paraffin. Your hottest that I have on here, it has stearin in it. I don't know what the hell stearin is, but it makes candles burn slower. Not recommended for wax play. And things that have scents and dyes in them, unless they're specifically made for wax play, don't use them.
mm-hmm.
And you can buy like massage candles, which are scented oil massage candles, which are really nice as well.
Something I found interesting is my cousin Soup, who isn't here today, unfortunately, had bees at college and would make their own candles.
And that's one that I didn't know when I was writing that article. And it says that that's more of a advanced, just because of the temperature that it burns at. Now, obviously, something else that changes is how high up you hold the candle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're dripping it right next to the skin, even a low burning temperature paraffin can still burn you. So you have to educate yourself. All kinks, you should educate yourself before attempting to play.
Yes, and if you're just trying to do wax play, please do not try to add anything to your flames, because that can add a whole nother effect you don't want.
Oh, you don't want us throwing pepper on it?
No. Usually what I do beforehand as just like a pretty little magic trick is cinnamon. But don't do that for wax play, please. Because if you add cinnamon to flames, you just sprinkle it on top. It goes up like little fireworks. It's really pretty, actually.
It's pretty, but don't do that.
I learned that at cooking school when we were making, I forget what they're called. The banana things that you set on fire.
Banana splits.
No.
Flambe?
Yeah, flambe.
No.
What do you mean, no? It's definitely a flambe. That's the name. Flame. Should look up banana things you set on fire.
So did we cover wax play, and were we underneath like sensation play still? Should we like ice? Ice is fun.
Ice is fun.
Don't use sugary products around your
orifices.
As fun as it may look in the movies and stuff, don't.
Genitals. Okay, mouth, you can put sugary stuff in.
Well, I wasn't
But
pointing to my
sugary
mouth.
cookies. Well, you know.
It's Banana Foster, by the way.
So yes.
I'll find out.
No, I just asked if that's what you were talking about.
Oh. Well. All right, you guys, we're going to hop this one up again. We're going to hop on to the next one. We're going to wrap these in two together. I didn't realize how long we've been on here already. Holy shit. So, wrap this up. We're going to, not wrap it up, but we're going to talk about exhibitionism and voyeurism. So, I know at least a few of you here are exhibitionists.
Guilty.
If you have an OnlyFans, you're an exhibitionist. Let me put it that way.
Not necessarily.
Isn't that only if you like get off on it?
I want to hear what Ray's point is.
Not necessarily. Just because you have an OnlyFans or sell adult content doesn't mean that you always get satisfaction sexually out of it. It can be a strictly financial arrangement because it pays bills.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You
know what? I'm going to take a lesson from Star Wars that only a Sith deals in absolutes and say that nothing is 100% when we say things on here. There's nothing I could think that is a one-size-fits-all for everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good point, too.
What?
Consent.
Except for that one. You violate consent, fuck you.
Well, fuck. We do like to be.
So, exhibitionism is, like it says in here, the thrill of showing off your goods. A lot of people that do online stuff are exhibitionists. Now, some do purely financially, but when it comes to some people have sex in the woods near a trail because the excitement, it's not necessarily the exhibitionist side of it, it's the excitement of possibly getting caught. That's another one. People that do flashing. Mardi Gras is a big one. It's like
I'm doing
all the
that next weekend, actually, for a photo shoot. Because they're doing a Mardi Gras dungeon party for the end of the month, and they're doing modeling as promotional content, which is this weekend on Saturday.
Very nice.
And I would like to point out that our entire panel is very diverse. Not anything we say includes everybody here. I don't have an OnlyFans. Some of us here do, some of us don't. It's not one of those things that, you know, you see this panel and you don't assume that what we talk about applies to everyone. Most of these kinks so far, I'm like, I've dabbled in it, but not really. You know, and some of us have dabbled in everything. Some of us have no experience with it. It's just being on a diverse panel like this is for that reason. We have people that are strictly vanilla. We have people that don't share anything about their personal lives on here. So keep that in mind when you watch.
Some of us, we're just learning our deepest, darkest fantasies.
Education. That's the key of this, is all educational. Voyeurism, holy shit, bring me back my teenage years.
Doing it in the parking deck.
That's the exhibitionism.
Now,
Okay.
With voyeurism,
Help.
again, that it goes back to consent. I think personally that voyeurism, watching somebody without their consent, while it is a big thing for some people, is not ethical.
Oh, absolutely not. No, don't be like peeping on people for real.
That would be the people walking by that decided to sit down on a park bench and watch. They would be the voyagers.
But now this is where we get into the ethical aspects of things. So let's say an exhibitionist is changing in front of her window or his window or their window and knows that somebody's out there watching.
Or could be.
Or could be. If you were to stop and watch, now obviously you would have to assume that they know this and stuff like that. So that's the boundaries of the ethics that's crossed there. You don't know what they're consenting to, whatever. They may have just forgotten to leave or close the curtain. But, you know, if you check the mail and your neighbor looks at you and goes, I saw you looking at me last night, be outside at like 8 o'clock and see it again. You know, like there's the consent aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's also, there's certain settings where it's expected. Like if you go to certain areas of certain dungeons, they are labeled that this is going to happen here. If you are here, it implies that you are consenting to observe what is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They have peep rooms and stuff like that.
Or no door.
It's a busy place.
Would glory holes be considered different?
Yes. I don't think they fall into either one.
Also, things like nude beaches. If you are going to a nude beach, it is implied that you are consenting to see nudity.
But no, like my teenage years, absolute voyeur. Like consensual though, because like the little neighborhood girl we've talked about on here before, she would always make sure that I was watching.
Does watching porn count?
Not really.
Not necessarily, but it can.
Right.
Like sorry, go ahead.
Can I make a confession that I never actually watched that? Like ever in my entire life?
That's okay. It's not for everybody. I know adults that are like grown ass people like 50, 60 years old are like, nah, don't watch porn.
Nothing wrong with that. Watch it.
So like another way people can be exhibitionists, I've known people to go through their nude photos while like on a bus, knowing that someone could peep at your phone while you're looking through it. Or, you know, oops, I scrolled right, and you show like the whole world your shit when you're talking to a friend. Or has anybody here ever accidentally sent a text message to the wrong person?
No, that falls back under non-ethical though, because if you're accidentally, then you're doing it intentionally to somebody that hasn't consented for it.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about the amount of times that happens in normal society and why it shouldn't be real quick?
It doesn't happen on accident all that often, but people
No. I'm just saying in general, not on accident.
Now, to be fair, I have been sent actually accidentally, because I should have never gotten that picture from said person because we may or may not have been related. So that was a big old shit for them.
Yeah, but that's on actual accident though. I'm talking about like getting hundreds of dick pics in my fucking FetLife email box thing.
I hate that I have to go on this tangent. I feel like
they know they're doing it. They're little bitches and they want to be called out, so don't even fucking give them the grace of fucking time. Okay?
You know what to do? You message them back like, oh my God, did you just send me a picture of a child's penis? I'm reporting you to the FBI.
No, we don't do that.
Why not? They'll quit doing it.
There is so much wrong with that sentence.
Why? If somebody sends you an unsolicited dick pic, one, you're calling it a child's penis, which means it's small. Two, you're making them afraid of the fucking federal bureau.
No, that's not right, buddy. You know how you say, call me out if I'm wrong? That
bully the bully.
Definitely majorly 100% wrong.
If somebody sends you an unsolicited dick pic, you have three options. You could say nothing. You could scare the shit out of them,
My favorite.
or you could send it to everybody.
Oh.
Like in your
Or-
friend group,
Oh.
and then we could
Or-
message them. We could voice
No, you don't send
Or-
it. Why would you take the time to
Yeah, no.
belittle this
Or-
person? They want that.
I just do it as I would on OnlyFans and be like,
Just-
1 out of 10, thank you. Please give me $5.
that.
No.
Come on, I'm not wrong. That one I'm not wrong for.
I
Like,
am
hey, I
genuinely-
charge for this shit.
Being full of shit right now. I don't have that issue. I can't tell you how to handle that. If I were in your shoes, that's what I would do. I would fucking embarrass the shit out of them and make them scared that something bad was going to
Yeah,
happen.
but there's a difference between embarrassing the shit out of them and, again, bringing up insensitive topics, which you know this is. You're not stupid. You know that this is an inappropriate thing to talk about, and we shouldn't even be doing it.
Okay, we'll handle this. We'll handle this one privately, because I think we're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. It's just, you can't say it like that, buddy.
Absolutely, that's exactly how you should say it.
Sidebar, we'll tackle this after the camera stops.
We'll knock that out. Okay. So yes, but that situation, when that happens to you, that is essentially somebody being an unethical exhibitionist.
Yep.
Um,
Don't feed the dragon.
You know,
So
I like
we've
Tony's
covered-
answer.
there are ways to be an ethical voyeur. There are not many ways, but there are ways. Most voyeurs are doing it quite
Clubs.
unethically. Your clubs, your settings, your arrangements with other people, you know, stuff like that. Like,
Watching adult live streams.
yes.
Yeah.
If
Going
somebody
to
texts you and
beaches.
tells you to come over at a certain time, you come over to their house at a certain time, go inside, and they're doing something at that specific time, don't assume that they intended for you to see them.
Yeah, what if they're just nudists in their own home?
Right. Yeah. Communication.
Let's be honest here. If you're just coming over to someone's house without saying, hey, I'm stopping over, that is not their fault. They're going to be the ones who are like,
No. What I said was
Upset
like
by-
if I text somebody, hey, come over at 8:30 and just walk in, I'll be, you know, in my room. And at 8:30 you walk in and I'm in my room just masturbating. More than likely I wanted you to see that.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Right. You know, that's what I'm saying. But if it's an arrangement, like if I have an arrangement with you though, as my partner, I say, hey, come down to the bedroom, you know.
Oh, okay. That's good.
But don't come in the door,
hmm
and I leave the door cracked for you.
Or maybe somebody else we might have talked to about this. Yeah.
Right. You know, it all comes down to
Communication.
communication.
Yep.
very much communication.
Sorry, I kind of drank a little bit. It's not. It's
Yep. There you go. Communication.
There you go.
the SpongeBob Rainbow. Communication.
All right. So I don't. I think
So-
it's too late to put this one up, but we're going to put this trigger warning up anyway. Here you go. Trigger warning. If you're triggered by this, then you definitely have been screwed up this whole hour and 38 minutes. So we're going to be talking about both of these. There you go. Are you ready? I hope you are. So BDSM. This is often interchanged with kink. You know, some people say when they're kinky, this is what they mean. Or when some people say they're into BDSM, they mean the other stuff. So it's a word that's commonly interchanged. It shouldn't be. They're two different things, but it shouldn't be. Kink or BDSM is a part of kink, but all things kinky aren't necessarily BDSM.
It's the square rectangle situation again.
Yep.
Yep.
All BDSM is kink, but not all kink is BDSM.
There you go. Absolutely. So if anybody doesn't know, BDSM is one of my, I love the way it works out because it all has different meanings. You have bondage, discipline, dominant submission, sadist, masochist, So like you have double meanings for a lot of those words, and I feel like there's probably more than that, but that's the general terminology. So when you think of dominant and submissive, and even if you think of 50 Shades of Grey,
Ugh.
that falls under that realm of BDSM. But there are 4 different aspects, or 6 different aspects to BDSM, although it's 4 letters. Bondage.
We could unpack that one day.
Yeah, we should. We should absolutely.
I kind of want to. So what? Heard of so.
Kink, BDSM, and fetish. I would like to add.
Fetish. Fetish is absolutely, but fetish is different from both of those.
Mm-hmm.
So, the literal definition of fetish is something that you have to. It's like a mandatory thing for you sexually, for your pleasure. Like it's mandatory. From my understanding of the definition.
Mm-hmm.
So, if somebody has a foot fetish, they have to have feet involved for their sexual gratification.
But
Would you like to weigh in on this, Leanne?
As far as fetishes or just bondage?
Like the definition there with fetish.
I would say I would. Yeah, I don't really have many fetishes like myself, but I would say that for most, you need that for like Mr. said, for sexual gratification, or like that's your drive. That's everything about it.
Can I also add a caveat that's going to not sound like me for a minute, but don't fetishize people by their race.
If you bring that up, can I also say don't fetishize trans people? I deal with that pretty regularly.
May I word that? Do not fetishize something that is a part of a person's identity.
There you go. I like that. That's the best way to
Much
put
better.
it.
That's beautiful. Yes. So I will say I really enjoy learning about people and their fetishes because they're super fucking passionate about why that makes them tick, and the passion behind that really excites me and intrigues me. So I like hearing firsthand experience with things. If anybody ever wants to share with me.
Now I'm going to mister that up.
Yeah.
You can consensually fetishize people for their identities.
I just want to add Tony's here. He said don't fetishize disabilities.
Right.
Without consent, I hate this. I have to agree with Mr.
Yeah.
Without consent. If it is something that is entered into by all parties knowingly and consensually, you do you, boo-boo.
There's a podcast I listened to. The only reason it came to my brain is because when I said the race thing, this podcast came to my head that Jen and I had listened to a while back. It's this, and I believe it's somewhere up north, this group of black guys, and that's their thing. That's what they do. They meet together, and it's their version of a dungeon meet and a munch, but that's how they meet other people to get involved with race play. Like, it's what they do consensually. People come to this consensually, they get involved consensually and stuff like that. So if you're going to fetishize people, make sure it's done with consent and with taste.
Yep. No yucking anybody's yums, but make sure
you have compatible yums.
There you go. Because even with Tony's not to fetishize disabilities, some people do, and some people enjoy the shit out of it. Some people enjoy their disabilities to be fetishized. So it's one of those things. Like, it all falls in the crazy realm. One more super important one. I know we didn't really touch on this one very much, the BDSM and the dominant submission thing. I feel like most people should know what those things are and how they work, but we will definitely have a deeper dive of those if you guys are down to make that a separate conversation, maybe, because that's a conversation all on its own that could take 2 hours.
Oh yeah, that's a conversation I wanted to have a rant about a few days ago.
Well, I mean, you want to rant about it now? You can. I've already got you a little fired up. You might as well.
So, I'm going to be kind of an asshole right now.
Please do.
Of course, I was on FetLife, and you know, a lot of people are not fucking educated on there. So I was told vetting doesn't need to be a thing. Find somebody who will listen to you right off the bat, and if they don't, find somebody else. And, oh, you're looking for a boyfriend, not a submissive partner. They can't be long-term.
So you're telling me
without a sexual romance.
Let me help everybody understand your rant real quick. So Dream posted a question basically asking, you know, what are some potential good things that I can do with a sub as far as like task or chores or whatnot for potential vetting purposes in the beginning to get to know a partner or whatever. And the answers were fucking ridiculous, y'all. Y'all are.
There's no tasks in submission. Tasks don't exist. Those are demeaning.
Tasks really pissed everybody off.
Use that word.
Oh man,
I love the word task. With it totally goes hand in hand with being a submissive, in my eyes, anyways.
Now, see one thing. So let me play devil's advocate here. As all things are, it is subjective. So maybe to them, their submissives should never have tasks. That should not be a part of their submissives. Now, should they have answered your question that way? Absolutely not. They're fucking idiots. But in their own realm, they may have that definition for themselves.
I mean, yeah, I can see how a different definition might be used. Not different definition, a different word. Because when you tell somebody to do something, or you give them a cue to do something, that is a task. You are telling them to do something. Like, if you're not going to say, hey, I'm telling my submissive to do something, what are they fucking doing?
Is that question still posted on FetLife? Because I'd love to find it later and just
yeah, I'll send it.
Good. I are excited for that. That's for damn sure. Because I love to irritate the fuck out of people if we didn't know this by now.
Like, some of them had really good answers, and some, like 95% of them had answers that were all the same, didn't answer my question at all, and didn't give a hint of anything relevant to the topic.
That's insane.
I asked the submissive men. I didn't ask all these doms who don't think that vetting exists, all right? That was not where my question was supposed to be answered.
Well, vetting should apply in all directions, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, vetting should apply in all directions, but they answered a question with no information, and we're not the group it was directed towards. They were trying to dominate me instead of letting me do my fucking research.
Did they do the thing where white girls scream about racial injustice? They did the kink equivalent of that, didn't they?
They told me, go find a more experienced dom because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'm like, literally, I do short-term play. The word that I am missing here is long-term. It has nothing to do with my knowing or not how to do my job. It is, how do you maintain a long-term relationship? What do people like to do long-term? Because the time restraint in short-term makes for a different dynamic.
So I've got 5 people watching this right now.
So if any of you have the answer or an answer to the question, feel free.
So yeah, Dream, pose the exact question you'd like. I'd like the comments to give you an answer if they're paying attention.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh shit! What did I just do?
So, like, kind of off of the conversation that you and I had about that dream the other day, the answer I would say is the same thing you do with a short-term sub, just more of it, since you have time to explore more kinks and get more in depth in the ones that you both enjoy.
Fun task is have them listen to Monday Munch.
There you go. Perfect.
Personally, I have done a few situations where I've been teaching somebody how to fulfill certain roles, and one of the tasks that I give is doing research. If there's something
Absolutely.
that a person is curious about and wants to know about, I will assign the task of doing some research about it. You know, spend 30 minutes looking for your own sources, and then we can come together and discuss it.
And that
Here's
is
your question.
not jumping out on a Facebook post saying, "My sir asked me to research X." That is not research.
No.
You could ask for good resources that way,
Yes, resources, but not
not
answer
like
the question at hand.
Don't give me the answers. Give me the.
Give me the
Opportunity.
place
So-
to find my own.
Resources, quality resources.
Me and Alice just had this conversation like last night, maybe? Last night.
The night before
And-
last. I think it was the night before last.
Was it? It
Yeah.
might have been. Doesn't matter the time. We had this conversation on like doing research and how I tend to overdo it because I was asking this question in the group, not going in blind. I do like 3 or 4 months of research before I take on anything. I just wanted to know people's opinions and like where they're coming from. I asked for stories and what they like to do so that it could give me a basic line of questions of, hey, these are popular by actual people who do them and not
hey,
you
pick
know,
me to be
just
your
generic,
sub.
whoever.
You got a lot of those.
Do you mind if I read the exact question you put out there?
Yeah, I didn't send you the whole post. I just sent you the question part.
Okay. It said, I need to know what would be a good set of tasks or other styles a sub would like to do long term, because it seems like short term subs seem to like very separate play fantasies given the time restraints and playtime. Please correct me if I'm mistaken. I would like to ask the perspective long term subs about such preferences and vetting, and it would help to have a baseline to start from things that seem favorable to a majority. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. I mean, I don't know. I am currently working on a. It sounds like you got a lot of dominance, not dominance, dominance. So that's my own little term there. But it sounds like, and that's what you run across a lot on FetLife.
FetLife doesn't vet its people.
No, God.
Somebody immediately after I posted in that same group about how all these DOMs were claiming all this stuff and none of them were helping, and they were just like clicking up the group like, you know, their own little gossip groups in the background, and none of them could actually answer a question or let the intended group of people answer that question either, without pulling them back and being like, hey, don't talk. Because apparently these people are almost all paired up, and they're like, oh, I will talk for him.
And that may be
Okay.
their dynamic, and that's acceptable if that's their dynamic.
Yeah, but if they don't answer the question, what is the point of talking?
So a problem you're going to run into a lot on FetLife is that most of the DOMs on FetLife are there because FetLife doesn't vet who they let there.
Mm-hmm.
If they vetted the DOMs and subs that they put on there, most of the DOMs on FetLife wouldn't be allowed in.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, just because I dress like this on a normal day, this is not because I'm a dom or a top. Like, this is just how I dress. Like,
I love that outfit. I would also like to add that just because you have the verification on there does not mean you are vetted.
Yeah.
Right, because all you have to do, I looked at it earlier, you had to add like a profile picture and a government license.
You have to add a profile picture, you have to do your driver's license, and you have to take a selfie.
Yeah, so like
let's take it back a notch and say that it's your own responsibility, especially when you're accessing these apps and you're going into this lifestyle, to do your own vetting and do your own research. And
absolutely.
So there we have another topic.
Everybody is going to have like a little bit different of a way they say how a thing feels or how a thing looks to them. But it's your job to understand and know what looks right and feels right to you. Now, I personally handle the FetLife shit. I don't give them the time of day. My inbox is full of unopened shit. Because if it doesn't sound right in the first few words, I'm not opening it.
You mean you don't like to open random pictures of a wiener that says hi? Fuck.
No.
We're doing this whole FetLife thing.
If you have a wiener, that is definitely not getting past my thing. If that's your if it even like resembles like
yes, right.
It might be like a picture of a roll on a counter.
Hold on just a second, Princess. Yes, right.
I just real quick side rant to the rant here. Unsolicited nudes, no matter what anatomy they are from, are not okay.
Not okay.
I don't. Seeing a random vagina without consenting to it is just as not okay as seeing a random penis.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm sorry, I have to say it. Says the one who flashed live last week.
No, I almost.
Yeah, there's 2 people in here who totally flashed live last weekend, and bonus points if you can find it.
Just putting that out there.
Accidents are different. Accidents are different than intentional.
At the point that you say I publicly consent to this, it's no longer unsolicited.
Well, I'm
if
not
you can see it on Nickelodeon.
I'm okay with it.
Sorry.
Well, were you what?
So yeah, we're not even halfway through this, so we should definitely have made this a 2-part thing. But the last one that I really want to get to.
Can we bring that up real quick?
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to cover a second ago. Here we go. Chamberlain says, "Okay, Dream, how would you teach someone who is a new sub?" Now I'm assuming he means from like a dominant position to teach someone how to be a submissive. That's kind of hard to do, but a lot of dominants that are good at being a dominant should know how. So I'll let Dream take this.
So the thing about it is no 2 people are going to train them the same way. And if you have different subs, you might even train them different ways depending on their personality. Mm-hmm. You know, so many people have said, hey, just do what you want. But it is not all about you unless they consent to it being all about you. And even then, if somebody says, hey, I'm into everything, I don't have any limits, I don't have any boundaries, that's
flag.
not true at all.
Red flag.
Red flag. Get out of here.
Never say that. Sorry.
But I'm not going to go into fully how I would do that, because that would need its own munch all on its own. But I will say that what I have been considering looking for is somebody who will just like be at my side when I call for them. And you know, it's not just all about play. I want somebody who's able to like do the positions on command, or even come to the grocery store with me and hold the bags. That's part of what I want. I want somebody who I can say, get down on your knees for me right now, and they will do it no matter where we're at, because, you know, I said so. But it has to be consensual, and, you know, I have to find a partner platonically. I'm looking for a platonic partner who would be willing to do this stuff with me.
A service sub. Yeah, I think I agree with Mister.
May I give a short answer too? I would say that just like anything else with kink, it's highly individual based, and the best way that I would say to teach a new submissive would be to start with getting to know each other.
That's what I'm saying. Those questions I was asking earlier were to get a good baseline of how to get to know somebody properly with experience from people who have done this before. That isn't me or a book I've read somewhere, like real people.
Well, like
And,
you
like-
could have somebody take like different BDSM tests or things like that, have standardized lists of, we go through this list and then we cater based on the results of said thing.
Alice has a whole list. Alice sent me.
It's not my list. It's just out there.
Is it the yes, no, maybe list?
Like the checklist.
It's it's Encyclopedia. I actually just drop a link in the private chat here.
So, okay, is it safe to say that we will have a munch coming up about vetting subs and what a long-term dom/sub relationship or dynamic could look like?
Yes.
For sure.
Absolutely.
We have a bunch more shit to cover tonight. I don't think we're going to cover tonight. We'll have to break us off into another one.
So we do have next Monday open, as far as I can tell.
No, we don't.
Nope,
that's
next
rope.
Monday was rope.
Okay, so
The
then
whole
the next Monday
month is done.
is
We have
role
the whole
play.
next month covered.
Yeah, we'll get into the rest of these at some point for sure, because there are so many. Like I said, we could cover one kink a week and not cover them all in a
Well,
month.
why don't you go ahead and run down the list real quick?
All right, so there is one we're actually going to talk about more in detail just right after this, but I'll leave it for last. Where are we at? So we've got impact play and trigger warning to all that, fun stuff for the next few seconds. The words could trigger you. And I can't give you an exact trigger warning because these are all just the kinks. So if you're triggered by any specific, close your eyes and your ears. Cross-dressing, kinky journey of gender expression and role reversal. Water sports, wet and wild.
Oh, we have to have part 2 of all of this then.
Pet play, unleash your inner Fido.
I like the wordplay there.
Suspension bondage, the thrill of flying with your wings tied.
We dipped in a little bit there.
Edge play, the darker side of kink. Knife play, the edge of danger and the sharp knife.
Or the butter knife.
Age play, when you're never too old to play with dolls or teddy bears. CNC, the kink of saying yes to no. Breath play, the fine line between excitement and danger in BDSM. Sounding, the fetish of making big impressions down there.
Huh?
And electro, when you need to shock your system. Fire play, the flames of passion. And then some other things we're going to cover so much this year, really, guys. I'm excited because we have so many people to cover and talk to and get to know. I really want to have a good, deep, in-depth topic about vetting. Safety. We always talk about safety, but safety is a major one to talk about. You can never talk about safety too much. But be glad, though, this isn't like those stupid job safety commercials and videos. You know, these are like generally interesting. We say bad words and wild things. So,
This is a safety meeting.
Safety meeting is an entirely different thing, Miss Jen.
Yeah, she knows. If you don't know what a safety meeting is, well, you're just not in the club. Dynamic responsibility versus personal responsibility. Kink exploration and regret. And once again, Mr. Consents Unsolicited Nudes. The one thing I do want to go a little in depth with was this one. It was brought up by somebody on the panel. about having this conversation, and as we were last speaking of service subs, it kind of falls into that realm, and I think it's a fantastic thing to, since we've run through all these kinks real quick, there is one type of thing that happens between dominants and submissives, and it's a unique thing. It is a kink fulfillment kink, the pleasure in people pleasing. Now, kink fulfillment, so you may not be into anything, you may not be into certain things other than serving your dominant in whatever way that they desire. You may have nothing to do with water sports or impact play or cross dressing, but if that's what makes your dominant happy, you do so. Is that like kind of a spot on understanding of it?
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry.
I found a new one because I was searching through like classes and stuff that are, you know, from people who run the local dungeon and help them out. And I found actually serving your community, your friends, your family, and your job. It's if you don't have a partner.
Can I just say that another way that people that aren't in the kink community can kind of understand the concept of a service sub? The brown noser at work.
Excuse me?
So to jump back to the kink fulfillment kink. For a lot of people, that can be like how it's worded, the pleasure in people pleasing. Like, I have various kinks that I like a lot, but they are all the more satisfying if it is satisfying someone else's kink. If I am doing something that brings my partner that extra little bit, it makes me have that extra little bit.
And I will say, it kind of gets me some crazy looks in that aspect. I tend to think that the power exchange that tends to happen, you know, dominant, submissive, stuff like that. Sorry about that. I had a little sidebar that made me laugh really hard. Fuck. Oh, so in that aspect, though, a lot of dominants fall under that realm of could they be defined as a service sub, although they are the dominant in the situation. But you know, if Jen and I are having a scene together, and I know that she enjoys impact play, but it doesn't bring anything to me other than having that dominant aspect to me of being in control of the situation there, I am providing a service to her that brings me no pleasure.
So at least in the circles I run in, that's called a pleasure dom.
Yes.
Right.
But the way you worded it, though, I have a little bit of an issue with, because while the act itself may not bring you pleasure, bringing her pleasure brings you pleasure.
Absolutely.
It's that gray world of kink, okay? Like nothing is straightforward in kink, because even as doing things as a dominant can be considered submissive. Some submissives control the whole scene, which is a dominating factor. So it's like, you know, a square rectangle situation. 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yep. It's
Ours is more like
Well, that's why it's a power exchange.
And to me, that's what sets like good doms and good submissives apart, is understanding that their role is not, you know, a dominant. Their role is not, I'm the fucking boss, we're going to do what I say all the time, and there's nothing you can do about it. And a submissive's role is not always, I'm going to do what you say all the time. That gets into bratting too, and we're not getting into that because we don't want me
And
to go into
smart-ass
rants.
masochism.
And Sam's. I love that SAM is a fantastic term, Sam. A smart-ass masochist.
So I personally relate to this a lot and find a lot of fulfillment with making these things for you all and knowing the purpose of them and the sensations that they will give for the individual that gets it. And that is that's some strong feelings for me, and I like it. That sounds weird.
Can I just say that with the little Charmander one that you gave me, I've been trying to put together like a whole heated scene with it. Like only hot.
I like it.
Well, Dream, it's you. It will only be hot
Are you
anyways.
gonna do a whole fireplace scene just to have a Charmander?
It's gotta have fire-colored clothes, hot stones, flame and wax play, the Charmander flogger, and whatever else I can come up with in the meantime.
Can you make your sub safe word be Char, but like the way Charmander says it in
Oh
the
my
old
god.
school Pokemon?
I fucking would. You know who would probably be really, really into it?
Oh Lord.
Moop. With all the Pokemon tattoos
Oh, yeah.
and stuff.
So, Leanne, if you have any advice, like I know we talked about a whole plethora of things, I'd like to end on some advice for anybody about any of the topics we talked about. Is there anything you could suggest for somebody to help them find their way in any of these?
Just from my own personal perspective as, a submissive in a 24/7 submissive relationship, we do kind of fall on the softer side. My sir does get his pleasure from me getting my pleasure. But, for me as a submissive, it's not my role or duty or task to make coffee in the morning. He makes coffee in the morning, and he makes my coffee the way I like my coffee made. And we have very much an appreciative love language. So even though I have certain tasks and duties that I am responsible for, as my sir, he likes to do things to take care of me. So we have just a very a soft side. We don't have the kneeling nude, the positions. He works with what my body can and cannot do. So, that's kind of where I came up with the concept of kink your way, is that we kink our way.
Can I just say for a minute, I thought that you were that person, but I wasn't sure because your comment said a different name. And I'm sitting here like, I think, because I love that page.
Oh, thank you.
But no,
Yeah,
that's totally on point too. It's like, I may be a complete sadist. That might be one of my top things ever. But taking care of my sub is top priority.
Yes, right.
As far as like actual advice goes, I would say it's important to know that kink is as varied as people are. The first step I would suggest for anyone getting involved in anything kink related is learn and know yourself.
absolutely.
How about you, Alice? Any advice to help people try to find their way through any of these kinks?
Not for like a specific kink, but if you're going into like the kink circles, you're going to run into a lot of like the shitty doms that Dream was describing, and like the fake doms that like I'm sure the ladies here get messaged by, I get messaged by, and I'm certain Dream does. If someone like at the very beginning doesn't respect your boundaries, don't go into it expecting them to change that. Just
Nope.
block them
Done.
and move on.
Very nice. How about you, Jen?
I like that because the respect of the boundaries is important, but you need to understand boundaries are evolving and they're ever so changing, just like we are as little kinksters, and they will grow and they will change and they will differ. But what is said and set in stone right then and there is so very important to make sure that you stick up for yourself and really be strong for yourself. That is the most important, is to take care of yourself. But okay, what I did want to add is be open and don't have a guard up when it comes to things, even though it sounds like something you may never actually ever do. Like, some of us here are actually kind of a little whoa to some things, and I'm like, well, somebody likes it somewhere, and there's probably a consensual way that it can happen for them. So just be open to listening to people. It may not be for you, no, and that's okay. And that's perfectly okay, but be open to listening to and learning from other people's experiences.
Very nice. How about you, Dream?
I would like to emphasize communication again, and I would like to emphasize the fact that the Dom is not the only one in charge. The submissive is not the only one in charge. It's a dynamic, which means you both have to have a say, no matter how you feel about the dynamic. You might be just the scene, or you might be 24 hours a day, but you both have a say. You both have to think about, like, hey, this is my other person. And to be honest with you, everyone's saying, like, oh yes, they have the right to make these decisions for themselves, blah 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 blah. But if you know that somebody is saying yes, and you know that they cannot do it, occasionally people will do things to punish themselves, or because they're not in a good mental state. You, as the Dom or the sub, have to say, hey, you're not in a good headspace, this could go wrong, you're asking for something that I don't feel like you should do right now, or I'm not going to take my anger out on you right now because I am not in a good headspace. You have to have control somewhat with your partner, just setting boundaries or thinking about, like, your own state of being right then. Like, you might want to go and do some sadist shit when you're angry, but as a responsible person, you aren't going to do it. And as Alice brought up to me the other night, being able to do things, I'm pretty sure we had this conversation of being able to do things like say, hey, sub, I would like you to be the sadist in this situation, and I would like you to fulfill this role for me this time.
Just to jump in real quick, what we were talking about was kink fulfillment. Is having someone step out of their normal role to do something that you want them to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that is, like, if someone's not in the right headspace, even if the roles are reversed, you still shouldn't be doing it. You should have control over, communication. There we go. Control as an adult.
Absolutely. And the last thing that I'll leave everybody with, people that are watching, people that are here, yep.
Our new sign language for the week is boundary. And if I'm not mistaken, is your pinky out and like this. This is a boundary.
Interesting.
Boundary.
So we know communication.
Communication. Boundary.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fuck you. I got 4 in my repertoire now.
Okay,
And there's
carry
something
on,
like
sir.
this, but I don't
Sorry.
know. But excuse me. If I can leave this with all of you, I'm sure you all agree, as well as anybody watching and that will watch in the future or that continues to watch Munch anytime. Educate yourself on everything. If you're going to try something new, learn about it first. You know, you want to have the book smarts before you try the practical shit. It'd be no different than trying something through chemistry. You wouldn't want to just start grabbing chemicals and mixing. You want to know what mixes well, how to use it properly, what you need to do. As long as you're educating yourself, dominants, know what you're going to do, know the potential risks that go with everything. Same for submissives, know what could happen to you if you have something done to you. Have an established trust. I know that when you go to a dungeon to play, it's a little hard to establish, your
But
communication.
you will gain trust within your vetting of a person. So,
when you go to like a dungeon and you want to play like that, you're not going to have necessarily
Well
that
done.
soul bonding moment with somebody you may be playing with just for the evening. But you should be able to establish that quick enough to know if you can trust this person or not. And sometimes it'll go wrong. Sometimes bad shit will happen. But you learn from the mistakes. You learn from shit that happens, and you bounce through it. Yes, Dream.
I would like to add on to what I was trying to say before. The words that I was trying to get out is, you can talk about it, you can communicate about it, but once something is done, it can't be undone. Once you make that first cut or you make that first poke or you spank someone or whatever you're going to do, the damage is done at that point. You can't just, take it back.
Say no etch a sketch.
You can communicate afterwards. You can talk to people, but please don't put someone in therapy over a kink or harm them in a way that's going to last the entire amount of their life because you don't know what you're doing. Either you don't know what you're doing, they don't know their limits, you don't know yours. It can't be taken back. I've had people be like that before, like, hey, I thought about it after a while. I'm not okay with this. And I'm like, there's really nothing I can do at this point besides give you support, give you love, and, be there for you. Because I can't take back what we did 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that people are like that. Like, I feel really, really bad about the incident still. But I cannot do anything about it. It's like people don't know their boundaries sometimes. People don't know where that line is. And sometimes it's like hits you 2 weeks later or 3 months later or something. And you're like, wow, I'm not so sure I was okay with that incident. And you have that realization.
And because in a scene you have adrenaline, you have all these endorphins and all these good feelings of dopamine running through your body. You may not feel certain things a certain way, and then afterwards you can, and you're on the ride home and you're like, well, that wasn't cool, I shouldn't do that and all that stuff. So
yeah, and you if something like that happens, you kind of have a resentment for that person, even if you said you were okay with it in the beginning anyway. And if you continue your relationship with that person without talking about it or without being able to come to terms with it, then your whole perception of that person is kind of ruined.
For sure. And that little thing that popped up, that's a phrase I've always enjoyed, is it's okay to hurt them, it's not okay to harm them. Hurting someone, you can cause bruises, you can cause cuts, you can cause all kinds of things, whether it be intentionally through the scene, unintentionally because things happen. But it's not okay to cause lasting damage, to cause harm. Yes, like Tony said, communication. cause somebody harm, to cause them mental anguish, to cause them physical, to deform or disable somebody physically because you didn't know what you were doing is not okay either. So make sure you know what the hell you're doing. Communicate with your partners. And like Dream said, if you have regrets, communicate that. Talk about it. Don't just hate somebody because something happened.
The internet is not an appropriate place to get experience from. Knowledge, sure. Experience, no.
Absolutely. So, yeah. I've had a wonderful munch with you guys. I've only pissed you off like once. I'm proud of it.
It was
better.
more.
Well, I only remember once, so we only count that.
Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate y'all.
And before we hippity hop out of here, make sure that you guys check out Leanne and
Thank you
keep
guys.
your way. There's tons of resources there. There's somebody good to talk to if you need a good coach.
Thank you.
We have Alice, if you want to follow their stuff. They have, you do streaming, right? You do some streaming, Alice?
Not yet. I'm working on setting that up.
Okay, well, we're gonna have a badass streamer at some point. So
Shit posting.
yeah, if you want a great shit poster, there you go. That's the shit poster right there. And then we have the lovely Ray. Like I said, polyamorous parent, LGBT youth advocate. If you have questions about your children and things they may be going through, or yourself as a parent, and you need somebody to talk to, that's a fantastic person to reach out to. Obviously, that requires consent. They may not answer, whatever. If they don't, then they didn't like your question, and better luck next time. Try me. I can pass it on, and we can figure out other means of communication that way. Dream, the wonderful Dream. Gamer for sure, streams and stuff like that, but also the sadist, the information, the knowledge is there too. Dream has articles on KinkSlayer.com as well, and we'll be putting more out, I'm sure, soon, as will I. Always a pleasure to have Dream as a part of this core group here. Jan, and her amazing new store has all the goodies and things you could ever need. It just got redesigned. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but we redesigned it a little bit. It looks a lot better.
And if you guys are in the market for shopping for goodies, and a lot of the things that we talked about tonight are actually on junipergen.com. You can go and search for them in the search bar. It would really, really tremendously help my small growing business and help me continue on my way to all these amazing events that I have planned coming up. So if you guys want to be thanked by me, you can check out my events and maybe come meet up with me.
I was going to say, we should post these events as meet and greets as well.
Yeah, we're going to have a munch actually around the time that we are up in New Jersey for Dark Force Fest. We will be there that Monday, so I'm thinking that we should really host like a live munch. We'll still do our virtual so we can be in contact with our amazing people, but
wait, hold up for a second. Do you know how many DOMs are going to be there in person that we can go and maybe use the conference room with?
Absolutely. We have absolutely got to figure out where we're going to hold this and how to get Juniper Gen cookies to pass out and all that good stuff. But yeah.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned, everybody. Thank you for being here. Happy Monday. See you next Monday for the topic of
rope.
Well,
rope play and safety.
With such a great outro, I hate to interrupt it by saying that I am Mr. KinkSlayer.com is where you can find plenty of articles. You can find links to Jen stuff. You can find articles by Dream. We're working on Ray adding some content to the articles and stuff. Leanne, if you ever have anything you want to write about and drop in or cross post from your site, I am happy to do that as well. Alice,
Awesome.
if you ever feel like writing anything, hop up. I mean, you all have different points of view that I could absolutely benefit from having, and I think benefit you guys as having people come to see you and all that stuff. And also, if there are any events in your area, Alice, I know your area tends to not celebrate anything of the Alphabet Mafia, but if there are any Pride events this year, we're doing our East Coast thing, so it's not terribly far away. So, would love
Maybe
to.
you can come visit us.
Exactly. So
I would love to come visit you. I don't know that we're having a Pride event this year because our state's currently passing anti-trans bills that would make being trans in public illegal.
we hopefully will. That shit will die fast. So hopefully.
Well, do you like fishnets and black eyeliner?
Yes, and yes.
So, yeah. Dark Force Fest.
Yep. You should
Let's
look
talk
into
about that.
It's
New
the last
Jersey?
weekend of March, the first weekend of April. 3 days. We're going to be up there for like 5, but 3 days. But I think we've got to do this crazy ass thing where we go up to New Jersey, we kidnap Dream consensually, and then we head down to Florida to the Tampa Pride, and then we
Yes.
head back up to Jersey. It's going to be like a crazy ass fucking 2 weeks. So,
It's
Nice.
2 weeks. I have to write that down.
So
We can talk about that later.
I feel like cramming my hole and saying, you guys, pretty please go support the website and help us make these amazing things fucking happen.
Oh, for sure, because I'm on a mission now to create events for every event that we're going to have meet and greets, whether one person shows up or 1 million people show up, it doesn't matter.
Thanks so
We would
much,
love
Ryan.
to. Last year at Charlotte Pride, I get to meet somebody that was a part of the
Oh.
KinkSlayer community. That was really nice. I haven't talked to him lately, but
We got
that
to
was
see
really cool,
and
so.
meet, and oh my goodness, yes.
Oh, you
And
got to
then,
see
oh,
your
yes,
bear flogger, your bear pride flogger person.
all
That
kinds
was
of
really
people. Yeah.
and they identified her by her fairy on her flag, and
Yeah, my
they were
flag.
just standing there, and they come right up. I was like, oh my god, I bought my bear pride flogger from you, and all this stuff. So it was like
I've
a really
always
cool.
wanted to do that thing where someone walks up to you and you shake their hand. I want to get to that point.
Oh, Jor says there's one in Chicago. That would be terribly out of the way. It's no different than going to Jersey, I imagine. We just go left instead of right. Close enough.
When is Chicago? And that is the importance, because I don't want to
the timelines matter.
yeah.
But we'll figure all that out. We would definitely love to do that. Jor, if you're not following us on social media, you're missing out. So I suggest you do that.
Absolutely.
Can we bring all
Tony?
these fuckers to pink metal?
Yes, let's
Absolutely.
everybody. So we're gonna have a pink metal party, whether they know it or not.
Do we want to, really, really have Monday Munch at Pink Metal? Like, we should talk to them about that. That we're
See if we could have it in the back.
If we can do it early enough, then they would probably let us, but not in the middle of the strip shows.
right, absolutely. But they're not having strip shows at.
Burlesque
Wow.
shows. There's no nudity. Shh.
Oh my goodness, right? I can't believe you said that.
Stitches get stitches.
Hey, not to be the wet blanket here, but maybe we should wrap up the munch.
Oh, sure. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
We just all dick off all the time anyway. We're dicking off at the end this time. That's all.
Happy Monday. We'll see
Happy
you
Monday
guys
to everybody.
all
And this
next
happy
Monday.
Tomorrow's Tata Tuesday on KinkSlayer. So, and
Yep,
Transformation
yep.
Tuesday. That's a new thing, by the way. I started last week.
All right.
Transformation Tuesday. I have a few trans members of my community
Thirsty.
and it's not just for trans people, although that's the target audience. If you had that ugly duckling,
You got that glow up face.
Yeah, glow up. That's what they call it nowadays, not the ugly
I
duckling.
swear to God. Is this because of
Glow
that time somebody called me an ugly duckling, or is
All
this
right,
something
it's time to cut.
Absolutely
Cut.
not.
Cut.
But no, so that was the thing that I really wanted to get people involved in to be a more welcoming and inclusive space. So yeah, look for that tomorrow because Facebook shoves my shit to the bottom of the algorithms. You might have to come to the actual KinkSlayer page. So
Yes, mister, we will.
You all.
Good night, everyone.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Boundaries.
Wait.
I am so hovering my hand over this end broadcast button.
Bondage man.
Do it. Do it.
You
We
ain't got
all
the
vote.
balls.
End.